Alright, we are live from Daytona. We are about to kick off the High Sim Octane Sim Series racing event. We are finishing up practice now. Should be qualifying momentarily. So Matt, what are you looking for tonight? You think it's going to be a long race, 120 laps?
The big thing here is we really don't know what to expect tonight because we know that a place like Daytona, the draft is going to be a huge part of how this race plays out. And I believe anybody in this field can be capable of running up front and possibly winning this thing. So there's really no telling what to expect. It's like we say when we come to these places, expect the unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. Tonight's stage links are 30 laps, 60 laps, and then the final is at a completion of lap 120.
We'll say we have a very good sized field tonight. I believe we have 34 cars entered tonight, so I think we're in for quite a treat tonight.
34 cars is a lot, so please forgive us if we get any names wrong, car numbers wrong. We will do our best to make sure we get those correct throughout the night. So if we do get anything wrong, please bear with us. Today's weather forecast looks pretty good. 89 degrees for the track temp. It's going to be partly cloudy. So it's good afternoon for some racing. Again, over 30 cars have registered for this race. It's going to be fun and exciting. I can't wait to watch these guys.
Yeah, so looking at the results as time runs down in qualifying, looks like it will be the 81 of Zach Compton on the pole.
Yes, Zachary Compton will be on the pole tonight. I am trying to currently find him over in Discord just so we can talk to him.
Any luck with that?
No, wasn't able to find Zachary, so we'll just bring in Mike. He'll be starting second, so we'll bring him over and he can chat with us. Hey, Mike, it's John and Matt up in the booth. You got us? Mike.
I got you. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, you're good. We was trying to find the post sitter up in Discord, but I wasn't able to find him, so I figured we'd talk to you. You got a front row seat, starting second. How do you feel about your chances of winning tonight?
Well, we all know this is Daytona, so it's luck of the draw. I think I got a better shot at winning the lottery, but hey, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
Next thing we look at a long race like this. What kind of strategy goes into a race like this for you? Do you want to spend a lot of time at front, in the front, or do you want to kind of just, you know, go to the back and ride for a while and just kind of log laps and try to stay out of trouble?
It really depends how the race starts. If they actually start racing, then I'll probably drop to the back because there'll be a wreck for sure. That's a given. So it just depends how they start the race up here.
Alrighty, well, best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
that was Mike starting second. These guys are getting the one to go as they come by. Lights are still on the pace car.
The one thing that I would be looking for uh, with a big field like this, the first part of this race would be a lot of just feeling out, I believe, because a lot of these guys probably haven't raced too much with each other, especially at a place like this. So you want to try to figure out everybody's driving styles and who wants to go to the front and who wants to kind of lay back for a while and just kind of get acclimated to racing around everybody.
I agree. I would not be surprised if we see single file at some point in time throughout this race. I don't think anybody wants to take chances on tearing up the race car early on in the race.
Oh, I agree 100% on that. I mean, we do have one fast repair, but you sure as heck don't want to have to use it up in the first, 25% of this race. So I expect a lot of patience early on.
Patience, that could be the key to win this race as we look back through the field. As we mentioned, over 30 cars have registered. Big pack, lights are off. They're going down the back stretch now, so we're just waiting to get this thing green.
We talk about this with it, Daytona being such a crapshoot. Everybody from your pole sitter all the way back to the 28 car who's starting last. I believe any one of them guys has a shot to win this.
Yeah, so it won't give us any reason to pick a car because we wouldn't know who to pick. I mean, like Mike said, some people might have a better chance of winning the lottery than they would this race. Pace car is off.
Green.
Green flag is out. 81 car of Zachary is going to take the lead. 09 is going to tuck him behind him. Looks like so far a pretty clean start for everybody.
It would definitely appear so. A lot of the front three or four. Oh, we got a big wreck already in the middle of the pack.
What can we do to try to help it if we do get another restart?
Oh my. Big wreck. Caution is out.
Somebody got turned from about sixth place. I couldn't quite tell who it was. It might have been the 73 of Scott Reed.
See if we can go back
I
and
just
take
saw
a
one
look.
car get turned.
See if we can go back and figure out what happened here. Looks like the 29 car hit the apron, went up and collected the 73. Then everybody else just kind of piled in behind those guys there.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of contact between the 73 and 29. That got the 29 down on the apron, and he just shot right back up into the 73. And the rest of these guys just had nowhere to go.
Well, earlier at the start of the show, we
Very,
talking about patience.
very
And
unfortunate. Yeah, we definitely talk about patience, and you know, that was not that was not exactly what we expected. I expected to at least make it a lap,
yeah,
but things happen.
things do happen here quickly, and you don't always have time to react and get out of the way sometimes because this, once those cars go spinning, sometimes you can't see through that smoke and there's just no place to go for you.
Oh, absolutely, and especially like on the initial start or restart like that, when everybody is bunched all together like that. When something does happen like that, especially in the front of the pack, you're gonna have guys checking up, and the guys in the back might not see that, and then they're gonna start running over the guys in front of them, and then you just got a big mess.
Under
Which
this,
I believe that's unfortunately what happened this time around.
we got some cars coming down pit road. I think most of them are just trying to fix their damage if they had any. It looks like the 95 is taking tires, and so is the 56.
Oh, we got problems under caution. Like the 43 spun out entering turn one.
We are working the first caution of this race that just started. 29, if you're just joining us, he hit the apron and came back up and hit the left side of the 73 and got him sideways and took out a lot of people from there on back.
Definitely not the start to the race I anticipated. It's getting wild early, I know that much.
Well, I think these guys are probably going to calm down, and try to get into a line and just run log laps. That's all you want to do at this point. There's no sense of making it 3 wide if you don't need to and taking people out with you if you cause the caution, per se.
Oh, for sure. I do expect a little bit more patience here on this restart. After seeing, what happened on the initial start there, I don't think guys are going to want to take that chance, and they're going to want to try to get single file as quick as they can here.
I have to agree, the lights are off on the pace car and they're going back double file here on this restart.
Right now, looks like the 81 of Compton still leads. Now we have the 09 of Fallen, who will be on his outside. Milenovic, he started on the outside front row. He's going to be restarting third this time around.
I think if I was in the back of the pack, mid pack on back, I'd keep my eyeballs wide open, and if somebody wants to ground me, I'd let them go on by for right now.
I agree, because the one thing I know is you just want to be around at the finish. So if you see guys starting to get really racy up at the front, I would go ahead and back out of that and just kind of ride in the back. But as we saw with the initial start there, I'm not even sure that's a safe place to be.
No, if you can be the control guy leading the pack, if it's single file, that's where you'd want to be.
Well, we're getting ready to find out as we are going back green.
Nice, better restart for everybody throughout the field, it looks like. Most everybody's single file. We do got a couple cars riding that high line. Up at the front though, we got the 09 and the 5 on that outside trying to make the high line work to get that lead from the 81 car of Compton.
I think that's going to be a long, tall order for them, with only being 2 cars up there. Now you see the 09 going to duck back to the bottom.
Yeah, Fallen, he's just going to fill in that hole, and he's just going to play it smart for right now. Like we mentioned, there's no need to get into a hurry. Meanwhile, the 5 car, he
I
just
agree.
continues to fall back. And the 31's going to pick him up.
I think at this point it's just going to be damage control for the 5 and just try to get down when he can. But I think he's going to lose a ton of track position by the time that happens.
Yeah, he's finally...
Unless he finds a hole right here, which he does.
Yeah, he filled that hole there, and looks like everybody is single file from nose to tail.
So the 5 was running 4th about a lap ago. Now, got shuffled back to 9th. So that just shows you how big of a... how important the draft is at a place like this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the back, you want to be a little back, but you don't want to lose the draft either at the same time.
Well, speaking of losing the draft, looks like we have a couple different packs forming. Front pack got about 15 or so cars in it.
48's making up some ground. He's going to hit the 46 just a little bit, and they keep it clean. That could have been a disaster waiting to happen.
Yes. Now he's going to be in the same boat that the 5 was earlier. Just hopefully try to get back in line and not lose touch with the guys in front of him.
I think he's wanting to go. He keeps on testing that outside line just to see who's going to work with him. But maybe that's not a bad idea to do right now, Matt.
Oh, I definitely agree. You got to learn what you can now, so you know for the end of the race, what your car is capable of and who could possibly be your friend towards the end of this race in terms of drafting partners. Because we know it's going to be a tall order to try and do anything by yourself, so you got to have friends. And now I think would be a good time to try to figure out, who your friends are.
Yeah. And it looks like the 20 car might go up there with the 48.
Meanwhile, back up front, nothing changed up front.
No.
The 81 continues to lead over the 2, the 09, the 8, and the 19 rounds out the top 5.
I'm riding here with the guy in 3rd place. You can tell how much off throttle he is at getting into these corners. You can save a lot of gas doing that.
Oh, definitely. And when we look at, this stage break being at lap 30, question becomes, are you going to be able to make it that far on a tank of gas? So trying to save a little bit of fuel might not be a bad idea here.
Yeah. Because, oh, we got a caution on the racetrack. See if we can possibly figure out what happened. not seeing anything that stands out to my knowledge of why that caution came out.
Oh, I got it.
Oh,
Oh my.
why don't you tell us what happened there, Matt?
Looked like one of the packs in the back there had a little group of three. Looked like the 29, 95, and 43 were running together. And going into turn three, 95 got on the back bumper of the 29 and must have hooked him just wrong and sent him hard into the outside wall. And
Yeah, we're watching it
went
live
for a
now.
ride.
Yeah, looking on the replay, yeah, he just kind of sent him around that inside wall, or the outside wall, excuse me, and that brings out our second caution.
See, that just goes to show right there, that was just a group of three cars. And they managed to have an issue. So that really tells you that there's really no safe place here unless you are by yourself.
Yeah, if you bump draft wrong, what we just saw, that there could be the end result. So even on the back straightaway, the 29
Yeah, on
got,
the back straightaway, these guys are going straight, but
yeah,
you hit the guy just a little bit off center, and that could happen. You hit him just off center just a little bit, and it's going to turn him.
and that's
It wasn't anything the
unfortunate.
95 did wrong. He was just trying to help him
Yeah,
and just got him off centered and sent him.
yeah, he was just trying to give him a push to, probably make up some ground or something on the guys in front of them, and I'm sure he didn't mean to turn that guy, but unfortunately, mistakes were made, and that's the second caution the 29 has been caught up in.
Well, this goes back to like what we talked about early on. With this many guys in the field, it's all about you know trying to figure out everybody's driving styles and whatnot. And a lot of these guys, haven't raced together with each other, you know, a whole lot. So it's a bit of a learning experience at the start of these races. And obviously, you know, there's still some learning to be done about, you know, who you can push, how hard you can push them, and, you know, things happen.
Yes, indeed. We got 26 cars still on the lead lap, so still quite a bit of cars on the lead lap. Anything can happen. Long race to go yet. Lights are back off. They're going back down to the backstretch now as they come to the turn 3. We'll restart the race on this lap here.
Well, no change up front. The 81 of Compton has led every lap to this point, I do believe. And he's shown he's got really strong cars so far at the start of this race.
I will say, for it being a Ford, I guess, I mean, I'm not much of a Ford person, but I like the Chevrolet, but I guess it's holding up okay for a Ford.
Ouch.
Meanwhile, pace car is off, green flag is out. Another good restart by Compton.
Compton got a good launch, as did the 09 of Fallen. He's going to take over second, and that'll put the 2 back to 3rd place. Right in front of the 19 of CC. Also the 8 of Shell riding in 4th place right now. Meanwhile, we got the 24 of Thurmond and the 22 of Alford trying to make that outside line work.
They're trying. I don't know if they're going to get any help or not. They got some cars back there. Now here comes the 31. He's going to tuck in there behind Alford of the 22, and he's going to. I don't know. Now the 22 is going to duck on the inside. See if he can get her.
Oh, we got trouble. Got one spinning.
Yellow's out.
Yellow out is out again for the 3rd time tonight.
I just know I looked up in the back of the pack there and I saw, I believe it was the 48 of King sliding backwards out of the trioval.
Let's see what happened to him. .48. He's right behind the 79. Oh, he thought he was clear.
Yep, he tried to get down to the, looked like he tried to get down to the bottom and wasn't quite clear.
No, he was not clear. So that brings out the 3rd caution for tonight. Man, it's a rough start for some of these guys.
Oh, you're not kidding. You know, I just thought we would have a little bit of a smoother start to this race, but you know, we've had a couple hiccups.
I think some of it could be nerves. And you know, this.
Oh, I definitely agree with it being nerves. You know, with it being the first race of the season like this. You know, guys are wanting to show what they're capable of.
It's a long way back here. I'm going through the in-car cameras on some of these guys, and from here to the leader, it looks so far back. But when you're actually racing, if it's packed up, you're within a second from the leader. So that's actually pretty close here at Daytona.
Oh, definitely. Once we get up to speed and everybody gets drafting together, you know, those gaps are going to get a lot smaller between cars. And as we've seen earlier, it don't take much for all heck to break loose.
No, it certainly does not. If you're just joining us, we are working the 3rd caution for High Octane Sim Series.
Okay, so just to clean up one thing, since we are under caution, the 43 of Stinson gets the free pass under this caution, which will give us 27 cars on the lead lap.
Started the race with 34, so that's still a pretty good number of cars on the lead lap.
That's the thing, is like, we get this early in the race, you really don't want to fall a lap down because you never know, you know, if there's going to be more chaos like what we've seen so far, and that could potentially damage some other cars, and we could have more guys fall a lap down, and then your race might be in trouble.
Have you seen there, the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to take you inside the car camera of the third place driver on this restart here to give you guys back at home his point of view on this restart.
It appears also that race control has called for a single file restart this time. Because apparently they did not like the way things were looking with guys, trying to get single file and causing some issues. So we're going to try and go single file and see if we can't, start logging some laps here.
Not going. Not going. One
They
go.
waved off the restart, so we will go around another lap. I think that's a smart idea, going single file on this restart. You kind of want guys to settle in early and just kind of calm down and just log laps. And I think that's a great idea on the official's part of just saying, hey guys, look, we've had 3 cautions already. I think we need to tone it down. Let's just do a single file restart so we can log some laps. I mean, I think that's an excellent choice.
Oh, I agree 100%. Because, we look back at, with this last caution, it was because of a guy, wanting to get down in line and not lose track position, and he wasn't quite clear when he did it. So hopefully, with them moving to single file restarts now, that will eliminate some of that urgency, and hopefully we can at least get, to this stage end with no more issues.
Yes, that would be nice. The stage ends on up 30, so if they can make it from here to the end of the stage, that'd be great for some of these guys who just want to kind of log laps. They don't want to get into a rush or anything. And good job to the guys that so far is keeping their nose clean. And it's not always easy to do here at Daytona.
Definitely not. And one of the best ways to keep your nose clean, be out front. That's what the 81 has done this whole race so far. So here we go. Gonna be 11 laps to go in the first stage when we get the restart here.
Green flag.
Green flag is back out. Up through the gear. He's in 3rd gear now. It's finally in 4th gear. It takes these guys almost a whole lap, if not a little bit longer, to get up to speed. I know at Talladega it takes like a lap and a half. But that's a much bigger track than what Daytona is.
Oh, for sure. I mean, with these guys being limited on power with these, tapered spacers like this, it's going to take them a while to get up to speed all the way. As we look right here, they should be just about coming up to full speed right now. Like the front 15 cars or so are single file. You got a little bit of side-by-side action behind that, though.
Yeah, it looks like almost, for the most part, everybody's single file. Back here, we got the 16 and the 80 side by side. They're battling for position. They're 3 wide.
Oh,
Oh,
no, I don't
no.
like this.
No, they went back to 2 wide. I thought they was gonna go 3 wide there into turn 3. Woo!
Yes, 51 of Brian Messer.
Oh, the 18 hits
He
the.
thought of. Oh, hang
Oh,
on.
oh,
Oh no, there they go.
there they go. They're wrecking. I am surprised I
And
did not freaking get a yellow.
surprisingly, we are still green. Yeah, we are still green right now. But it looked like the 56 and the 20, I believe, got into it a little bit. After I think the 20 got in the outside wall.
Oh, I knew the 18 was also involved. I think he's the one that initially caused that. See if I'm back far enough on this replay to take a look. Yeah, the 80 gets into the 18. 18 bounces off the wall. The 56 goes in the grass. That's Anderson, I believe. So for the most part, they kept it clean. That's why a caution didn't fall. So
It's a good thing it didn't either, because they're starting to get racy up front here. Looks like the 24 and 31 are going to try to get that outside line working.
they're trying. That's back with Tyler Truman. He's got the 31 behind him, and the 79. He's also right there.
See if these guys can't keep that line organized and start making some headway to the front.
Lot of laps left. See if these guys can get the high line going and get some side-by-side action going on.
Oh, you look here, the 31 got attached to the back bumper of the 24, and he's going to give him a big push down the straightaway.
We are on board of the 24 of Tyler Truman right now.
Caution. Alright, you tell me about your car, bud.
And a yellow is out. That is our 4th yellow of the night.
I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I just know the 95 and the 80 got together going into turn 1. But I believe that was actually after the caution came out, so.
Huh.
Not entirely sure what that caution was for. Unless we were misinformed on when the stages were.
Well, that could be. Maybe he had a typo that what he sent us.
'Cause I didn't see any issues on track, and given that, they threw it right at the line, I'm wondering if potentially that's what happened, is the stage was at 25
Could be.
instead of 30 like we originally thought. But that's just my assumption, because I went back and I looked at all the videotape, and I can't see anything that would have brought out a caution prior to that.
I would say you're right because we got all the lead lap cars are coming down pit road now, so I would say that this is going to be the stage, and that's that.
Now the question becomes, what do we do in terms of pit strategy? Do you think guys are gonna come in and get tires, or maybe just fuel only and try and steal some track position?
Well, it looks like the 79 just got fuel only, so he'll be the
I
he'll
believe the 81 got fuel only as well.
09. Looks like a lot of these guys are just getting fuel only.
Yeah, but you do see a few guys in the back here still on pit road. I believe they're going to try and get some tires and see if they can't use them fresh tires to potentially go make some moves come second stage.
Oh yes, this is the stage break. It's 25, 50, and 160.
Okay, because that's different than what our original notes had.
Yes. So this is the stage break.
Okay, good to know. So I believe that would give the 81 of Zach Compton the stage win.
Yes, it would. And here comes the 79 now. He's getting tires, it looks like. He's on pit road, and so is the 00. He's also on pit road. Meanwhile, back up front.
So, yep, as we start stage 2, we will have 27 cars on the lead lap. As I believe the 14 got the wave around on this last caution.
Well, that was an exciting first stage. We had a few yellows.
I would agree that was definitely exciting. We'll see how crazy things get in stage 2.
Waiting for the pace car to go back down pit lane here so we can restart this race. Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Another good restart by the 81. Fallen, he's just going to fall right in line. You think that was playing there by the 22 of offer just to let Fallen get in line right there? Because it looked like he kind of backed off a little bit.
I believe it was, with those guys wanting to work together and try and get single file and maintain as much track position as they can. I would not at all have been surprised that that was a planned move by the 22.
Further on back, you got the 17 and 31 and the 16 and the 56 all on the high side trying to make up some ground.
Indeed, I know from what we saw in that first stage, that 31, I believe, has been pretty committed to the outside line. Just wanting to see what he can figure out on trying to go back to the front. We've seen him up top quite a bit this race.
We are currently riding on board with the 31 of Brian Clark.
And they see that outside lane right now just doesn't appear to have what it takes right now. Just the inside line is too dominant. They got too many cars down there.
Yeah. Everybody looks like single file except for a few on that outside. A lot of checking up throughout the field.
That's the thing. Like when you do get single file like this, you know, these cars have such big rear spoilers that they're cutting such a big hole through the air that the guys behind are sucking up to them, and eventually they suck up so fast that you run out of room to try and slow down. The farther back you get in the pack, and so guys are having to duck out so they don't run over the guy in front of them, and that's where you're seeing this double wide coming from again.
Meanwhile, nothing has changed out front. Compton still leads. Just about everybody's single file. We've got 2 packs, 3 packs, a third pack way in the back. That's just a 3-car team way back there, it looks like.
Ooh, we got contact in the middle of that first pack.
Yeah, the 16 and a 46. Oh! Oh, we got... Oh, that's gotta be... Let's see if NASCAR throws a yellow here.
Oh, I think they've got to.
Make sure
Yeah, the 46 was side drafting pretty aggressively for that whole last half a lap. And I think it finally bit him coming off of 4. I know he was really tight on the door of the 16 going into 3. And they kind of got together.
That's... I wonder if he has a fast repair left, if he has used his already, because if not, he needs to use it now. He is smoking.
Yeah, you better hope he has one left because that car is killed.
Let's rewind the replay just a little bit more.
Yeah, this looks like the same thing we saw earlier with the 48. You know, just wanting to get down to the bottom, and it wasn't quite clear when he did it. And just come right across and tag the 43.
It's hard hitting right there.
Very hard hit for both of them guys.
So that brings out our 5th caution of the night. Still got 27 cars on the lead lap.
It's a little bit surprising. You know, we are only about a quarter of the way through this race, and already had 5 cautions this race. So I think this just shows, you know, some guys, you know, not willing to give an inch, and with how close this racing is, you know, there's got to be a good bit of give and take out there, and so far I've not seen a whole lot of that from some people, and it's resulted in what we've seen.
This feels like a long caution for some reason.
Guys, you got to remember at the same time, track is 2.5 miles long, so it's gonna be it's gonna feel long, especially when your pace laps are only 80 miles an hour. So it's gonna feel long, but we'll get through it.
Yes.
We'll regroup and hopefully get back up to, the 190 or so that we're used to doing.
The lights are off on the pace car. So that means we get to go back green.
See if cooler heads are gonna prevail this time. We'll see how soon everybody wants to get single file and yet, do it safely. Because, we've seen with a couple cautions here, guys just getting a little bit impatient, wanting to get down to that bottom line. And you got to know for sure when you're clear when you want to do that. Otherwise, you could potentially ruin your shot at being there at the end. So we got to just use our heads a little bit out there and hopefully get at least to the end of the stage and go from there.
The 95 is mowing the lawn down in turn 3. I guess that needed to be mowed real quick. I'm not sure why he was doing that, but that was something you don't see every day at Daytona.
Well, it's been one of them races. You just never know what you're going to see, so can't say I'm surprised. Let's see what happens next as we are getting ready to go green.
81. Compton's first, second is Fallen, third is Alfred. Those are your top 3.
Yeah, you see that same thing we saw in the last restart there. That 22 left a gap behind the 81, so that the 09, and we are under caution again. Looked like the 48 was backwards going into turn 1. Not sure how he got there though. Oh, yep. That goes right back to what we just talked about. Guys not being patient, taking them 3 wide, right on the restart. And things happen.
See if we can go back and find the wreck here.
As soon as they got to the start finish line, watch the 48.
Alright, so looks like everything's good. Restart right here. And is that the 50? Looks like he just kind of shot through the gap there and held back. Then, yeah, that's uncalled for in my book. I don't think that's right.
I agree. That was
Like he laid back to get that restart to go around those other guys. And to me, that's dirty racing.
I mean, the initial restart was good, but there was a little bit of a checkup. It looked like, and he just got a little impatient and wanted to get around him, and there was not enough room to do that, and he clipped the 54 and took out 2 or 3 good cars.
Yeah.
For something that really didn't need to be. I mean, it's the restart, and we're not even to turn 1 yet, and I don't understand the need to take it 3 wide there. But I'm not in the driver's seat.
No, but if I was in the driver's seat, though, Matt, I tell you, my blood would be boiling right now. I would be hot if I was that 48 car.
I'd be hot if I was the 56, honestly, because you're just sitting there running your own line at the bottom of the track, and then you get wiped out.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep, I just seen from race control the 48 has been black flagged. No, my bad. The 46 has been black flagged.
The 46 has been black flagged.
The nope, never mind.
Well, we got another restart coming, so we're kind of curious of what Offer's been doing, so why don't we just ride on board with him here?
I'm wondering if maybe with all these cautions we're having, I'm wondering what's going through the minds of some of these drivers.
Well, it could be a whole lot worse. I do think,
Very well could be.
though, once we get over with Daytona and get onto these other tracks, that's coming up, that you'll see less cautions. You'll see a lot
Oh,
more.
definitely.
You'll
It's
see
like
more patience out
it's
of everybody.
yeah, it's like we said, at the start of the show. These races are a crapshoot.
Yeah, and
You just never know what's going to happen.
anybody can win these races. I mean, it's just part of the game, if you will.
Oh, especially at a place like this. What is the right strategy? To be around at the end.
All right, well, pace car is off once again. Green flag is out. I don't really know if Offer kind of held up or if Fallen really got that great of a restart to jump in line right like that.
Oh, we've seen this for the last, I believe, 2 restarts. I believe this is planned for the
Yes.
22 to let the 09 in. Meanwhile, a little further back, wouldn't you know it, 31 car leading the outside lane once again. Ryan Clark determined to make something happen.
He's trying. He's got John Anderson right behind him, and then right behind him in the Skittle 18 car.
Ooh, that was a little bit close.
It's a little bit sketchy for my liking. I think some of these guys kind of like, whoa, whoa, what's going on? Let's settle down here.
Yeah, it looked like the 18 and the 125 almost got into it off of 4.
Wilmore's got 2 packs going on. Hopefully we can settle down and get some green flag pit stops coming up in the 3rd stage when we get there. I know we won't have any for the 2nd stage that we are currently in. But it would be
Let's
nice.
just worry about getting. Let's just worry about getting through the 2nd stage first.
I just like to see green flag pit stops. That's where the game really can change.
Absolutely.
so far, single file up front.
Yep. Do you see a couple cars at the back of this lead draft trying to make something happen up top? Would be the 14 and 18, it looks like, but like we've seen many times so far this race, that bottom line, there's just too many cars there, and they're too strong. These guys are going to fall to the back of this lead pack.
48 going another lap down.
Yeah, he's had a pretty tough go of this tonight. Got involved in a couple cautions tonight, and that car is looking pretty hurt right now.
Just a few more laps, a handful of laps until the completion of stage 2.
As we look forward to the end of the stage, do you think when we come down to the last, lap or two of this stage, do you think guys are gonna, start to race a little bit, try and get that stage win? Or do you think they're just content here and just gonna ride it out and wait for the last stage?
Well, I don't know. It looks like we got another caution on the racetrack.
That we do. Looks like the 20 car has an issue off of turn 4.
See if we can go find the 20 and pick him up. Alright, let's go take it back and let's see what happened to the 20 car.
Oh, I stand correct. The 20 was just an innocent bystander on this one.
Yeah, looks like 48. And 20 had no place
48.
to go.
Yeah, it looked like the 48 was trying to give the leaders room and kind of ran out of room himself and got into the wall. Came back across, and it looked like the 95 tagged him and sent him spinning. And then when he came back across the track, there's just nowhere for the 20 to go. And things just go from bad to worse for that 48, unfortunately. It has just not been his night.
No, it has not. Has not been his night at all. I know we've called on his number several times tonight for being in different incidents.
This goes right back to, what we talked about at the start. There is no safe place here. He was just up top of the track, minding his own business. Just lost focus for a split second, I think. Got the wall, and chaos happened again. And he was all by himself for the most part.
Yeah, he was a lap down or more at the time whenever the leaders was passing him. And
The question becomes now, with the timing of this caution, are we going to get back going before the end of this stage?
we might have like a 1 or 2 lap shootout if the officials decide that.
And we're getting ready to find out here.
I think if it is me personally, I'd go ahead and call the stage. Just because we are so close and lights are off.
Well, looks like we're going to go back at her for a nice little 2-lap shootout. You know, I hate to be that guy, but given how this race has gone so far, I do have to ask. Do you think we're going to make it to the end of the stage without a caution?
uh, well, I don't know. Uh, I want to say yes. I think the guys up front wouldn't be an issue. I think some of the guys in the back probably could cause an issue. Maybe if we're like on 14th, 15th, something like that, and you want to get people and get stage points to get in the top 10,
Oh, for sure.
I could see that being a problem.
Well, guess we're getting ready to find out as we are off turn 4. And pace car's going to pull in.
Ready, green,
And here we go. Oh, you see that time the 22 hesitated to let the 09 in, but the 09 actually got a really bad restart. So the 22 is actually going to pull ahead.
Yeah, that's going to give the second position to Alford right there.
And we have an issue again.
Well, you know, Matt, if I was a betting man, I think I would have betted $1 right there and probably walked away with a couple $100 maybe.
Looked like the 56 this time of Anderson got into a little bit of trouble on the restart.
See if we can pick him up here and see if we can see what kind of trouble he was in. I do not see
Ooh, I'm
him.
not sure what happened there. Wonder if he might have spun his tires a little bit. That just looked really weird.
Let's rewind this.
Oh, actually, I think I know what might have happened to him.
So the 56, he's on the outside lane. He gets a good restart. Oh.
I think what might have happened there is when he shifted from second to third, I think he missed a gear.
That could
Because you
be
see,
it.
right about that time, it would be about that time you'd shift to third, and you see the car get a little bit squirrely, and you see a little puff of smoke. So I'm wondering if that was wheel spin from when it finally got into gear, and by that time,
Yep.
he was getting run over.
That's what it could be. As we're riding on board with him, and yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Something in the drivetrain or transmission or whatever, and this kind of lost it after that when he went up in that other gear.
Well, chalk that up to another thing we didn't expect to see this race.
Well, I believe that's gonna be stage 2, if I had to guess. Should be.
believe you are right. So that makes Compton 2 for 2 on stage wins.
We got 23.
Meanwhile, while we were watching that replay, we had pit stops, I do believe, in the '09 of Fallen is your new race leader.
Yes, and we got 23 cars on the lead lap. I give these guys props. That's been kind of multiple laps down and has been just riding this thing out. It's hard to sit for so many hours knowing that your chances of winning tonight's race is over, but yet here you are still riding this thing out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at a place like this, once these guys get down to the end of this race, if they do start pushing really hard, you get a couple late race cautions and you stay out of trouble. You could end up right back on the lead lap, right back in contention. But it's not over for these guys just because they're a lap or two down right now.
No, some of these guys just need a caution to get back in it, and if they got that fast repair in their back pocket still, then they got that golden opportunity still to win.
That's right. And I think you're going to see who those guys are this last stage because you're going to see who's going to get aggressive.
Green flag.
As we see once again on this restart, the '09 and '22 hooking up and working together again to get single file.
Yeah, they're teammates. They race for Milm Sim Racing Team. Most everybody is single file. We got a few cars on the high side. Further on back
See
to
that?
66, he's up there by himself in the first pack.
I do notice one thing, when we go back up, towards the front of this pack, you look in about 6th place, I believe, that 95 car, he's got a little bit of nose damage, it appears.
That
I'm
could.
curious how that's going to affect his car.
I don't think it's going to affect it a whole lot. I think he got that from whenever he was mowing grass earlier. I don't know if he just
Very possible.
saw some weeds that he didn't like down there in turn 3 earlier when he mowed the grass. But he's right up here inside the top 10.
That just proves the draft is the great equalizer. Your car can be a little bit beat up, and you still got a shot with the draft at getting a good result.
I think right now they're just going to stay single file for a little bit. Log some laps. Kind of let the pace slow down.
I definitely agree. With as wild and crazy as the start of this race was, I think everybody is just going to want to, get in line and run laps and hopefully click off some laps and just get down towards the end of this thing so that then they can settle it.
We are currently on lap 55 of 120. We got, there's Clark in the 31. I thought he was going to go to the high side there for a moment, work with the 20 car.
Oh, he was up there for a little bit.
He's he's been up there most of the night. It seems like we've hardly seen
He's
him
been
down at the bottom.
determined. He's been determined to try and make that work, but he just doesn't have much help right now. I applaud him for trying, though. You see just a little bit of a gap right now. The top 7 or 8 cars have broken away just a little bit.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do. The single file. I mean, they got the 95 kind of a little bit back there, but he's close enough where he can get their draft and pull that pack of cars behind around up there if they needed to.
Oh, definitely. I think right now, like we said, they're not too concerned about it. They just want to stay in touch with the leaders and just log laps.
But as we saying that, it looks like the gap from the first pack to the second pack is getting bigger.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but you see that 2 car dropping back just a little bit, coming back to the 24. Not sure if he just wants to get a little bit of a gap in case something happens, or if maybe his car just doesn't have the speed right now.
Oh, great. If you heard my phone, I'm sorry, we have a tornado warning. That's always great to have while you're on air. Don't worry, folks, we will not be going anywhere. Alright. Meanwhile, nothing has changed up front. About mid-pack, though, you can see the 8 car on that outside lane. He's got the 19 behind him trying to get something going.
You got a couple cars behind them. Ooh, hang on.
That was dicey there with the 18.
Like the 8 car wanted to get back down to the bottom, but the 18 was there and had to take evasive action.
Oh, so far, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to the chats or the comments in the chat section. We've had, I think, 5 cautions, is it, Matt? 5 or 6 cautions now. 2 of them being stage breaks.
Yep, I believe 6 cautions so far.
So sorry about that. Brody from our league, Matt, is watching. He said hello.
Might have had something to do with that. Oh, here we go. Getting a little bit of action here. Looks like the 54 got shuffled out a little bit. He's gonna go backwards.
Yeah, he's going to lose a few spots. He wants to get in that hole behind that 18 car if he can, and just kind of get back in line if he is able to do that. There he goes right now.
And he is able to do that. Now we'll see what that 8 car does behind him.
That 8 car is getting a one heck of a push by that 66.
That he is.
So far, everybody knows to tell. Right now, the 8. He wants to go on that outside lane to make something happen, but nobody's
Yeah,
going with him so far.
he's been poking his nose out there. I do know one guy that's about, I would say, 3 cars or so ahead of him that would gladly go to that outside lane. That being the 31. He's been up there most of the race. As you see, here they go, making another little move to the outside. Would be the 56 again, I believe. No, the 54.
54 and the 8. They tried, and the 66. He just went back on the inside. He's flirting with that 8 car. He's like, "Hi, let's go upside. Let's go up to the top side," and goes back down on the inside and takes that position away.
Just toying with him.
That's kind of mean to do, but it happens.
Well, it's like we said earlier, the early parts of these races, you want to find out who your friends are. And I think that 54 might have learned a valuable lesson right there on who you can and cannot trust.
Yes, indeed.
Meanwhile, 66 goes back up to the top.
And he's got the 14 right there in front of him. Let's see if they can make anything happen. It's going to be hard to do with just 2 cars.
Ooh, close call there. It looked like the 18 might have thought about going up there, but then he come back down.
Yeah.
Almost took out the 87.
Yeah, he was dancing there for a moment. Not sure what he was thinking, but he was doing something.
I think he was thinking about going up and getting his teammate, but I think the gap was just too big and he thought better of it.
This is a smart decision. You don't want to bring out another caution right now. I think some of these guys are banking on a green flag pit stop for different strategies.
That's very possible. Because you see now, with everybody being single file like this does have a bit of a, green flag feel to it. That it's going to run green for a while.
The only bad thing that sucks, in my opinion, about being the leader right now and this stays green, you're burning so much more fuel than everybody else behind you.
Oh, that's for sure. And that, that goes back to, what we were talking about, just a few laps ago, when we were talking about guys having a little bit of a gap to the guy in front of them. You think that might have been them just trying to save a little bit of fuel, perhaps?
It could be. I mean, it's very possible. But if you're trying to save, you don't want to be the lead car in the pack. It's hard to save fuel that way.
Oh, that's for sure. When you're leading that pack, you are wide open. And when you're the guys behind them, you get that draft and you suck up to them, and you don't want to run the guy over, so you start lifting off the gas a little bit, and less gas means more, less fuel being burned.
That is very true.
And I think we're starting to see that again right now. As you see, we got about a 6-car breakaway at the front here. So we're wondering if perhaps those guys a little farther back are starting to, think about saving just a little bit of fuel again.
It's very possible. I think if I was, second on back, I'd be letting off as much as possible, even clutching the car in the corners when I can. Just trust me.
Oh, definitely, because, we know every little bit of fuel is going to help you. Because you just never know.
Don't want to be like me the other night and run out of fuel.
I had no part in that.
Sorry you did, Matt. You're my teammate. You know all about that.
Should have followed me. Anyways.
The front four seem to break themselves away. So now it's just a 4-car breakaway with the 95 still lurking, but further on back. He's got the 5 right behind him.
Those two have been nose to tail pretty much since the restart. And I do notice, we talked about the damage on the 95 a little bit, but it looks like the right front quarter panel of that 5 might be bent up just a little bit as well. But they're both still hanging in there very steadily.
So far, it's been a good race. I mean, 6 cautions. It's not too bad. Could be a whole lot worse.
Oh, it definitely could be worse. And, this race is kind of, honestly, for me, it kind of feels like it's been being run backwards. I expected a lot of this single file just riding the first couple stages, and then they get racy in the third stage. But it's been the exact opposite of that so far this race.
Well, I think not. Yes and no. I mean, you kind of see that in real life too. Meanwhile, we got green flag pit stops coming up. It looks like see if I can get to those cars that pitted. The 81 and the 80, they are on pit road now.
Yep. Not surprised. Teammates trying to potentially play a little different strategy.
Should be just a four tire stopping fuel here for these guys, which it is.
Would imagine.
So since those two have pitted, when does everybody else pit?
That is $1 million question right now.
We got more
And
coming.
that
We got.
answer is right now.
Got to be careful. We don't want to get a speeding penalty now.
That's for sure. The one thing is, you want to come in together, you want to leave together, and if you get a pit road penalty, that's going to take you out of contention, potentially.
Yes, it could. That'd be a heartbreak for some of these guys. So we saw
This group of
2 groups. When does the third group come in? I bet they come in this time.
I would think so, because you don't want to lose too much ground, potentially, if, those other 2 groups, they already pitted, so there's a chance, they could get linked up together and they could start laying down some good laps, and then you're just out there, sitting ducks. But the one thing they do got going for them, they do have a good, looks like 6 or so cars, so they're still making good time. I think you pretty much run this thing out until you have to pit for fuel.
Yeah, I think that's the right call right now.
And that would be right now.
Looks like we got 3 more cars coming on the. Oh,
the
the 66.
66.
He missed his pit road, and that's going to ruin his chances unless he can get a caution to get him back in this thing.
That goes back to just what we talked about, getting on and off pit road and being mistake free.
I think
That looked like just a little bit of a case of a wheel hop right there when he downshifted, and it just got away from him.
that, or he was speeding and he was trying to slow it down, and either way, wheel hop or speeding, whatever it was.
That's very possible. You know firsthand that getting on pit road here is not an easy thing to do, and you watched me mess that up one time.
Yes, when you're going over 180 miles per hour, you cannot just slow it down to 55 miles per hour in a blink of an eye. So it looks like almost everybody has completed green flag pit stops. say that here comes a couple more cars on the pit road. They don't seem to have any issues. Two teammates is just going to get 4 tires on fuel as well.
We talked about being mistake free on pit road and how that could potentially end your race. We saw the 66 have a little issue getting to pit road, and you look at where he is right now. He is not far from getting lapped by these leaders, all because of
No.
one little issue coming to pit road.
No, I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, or not, but the 81 and 80, they were the first cars to pit, and now they run 1-2.
That they do. Getting out and getting pitted by yourselves with just 2 cars like that. You can possibly carry quite a bit of speed, onto and off of pit road by doing that. You don't have to wait for, your other cars to get to you. So that creates really good in laps and out laps, and that's what was able to get them to the lead.
And you got 81 falling back to the back of this pack here. He might, yeah, I think he's trying to save some fuel, and that's why he fell to the back, I'm sure. Because right now, Compton is behind Fallen in the 09 machine.
Yep, you look at, how they ran, that last green flag run, right before pit stops there. The 3 guys that were leading that group, the 09, the 22, and the 81. Now they find themselves in the back of the pack. So do you think maybe they learned something from that last run about potential fuel mileage game?
Very possible, because with well over, that we're going to have another green flag pit stop coming up. There's no way, I don't think these guys can run 42 laps on this tank of fuel.
No, there's going to be one more pit stop. So it's all about, positioning yourself right for that last stop.
Got 22 cars on the lead lap, with Line being the last car on the lead lap. Raposa, the first car, a lap down.
And you talk about, Raposa and Line, they're running right together, drafting together, and they're still just getting eaten alive by this lead pack. As you see, they're going to go a lap down here.
Yes, they are. I mean, that was a huge mistake earlier by the 66 whenever he was trying to complete his green flag pit stops. And you see the end result right now. He's going to go a lap down, and that's not going to help him at all. He needs a caution to get back into this thing.
I know the 46 was his drafting buddy, trying to keep him on the lead lap. And that was for a reason, because, with that 66 being a lap down now, that's going to eliminate the 46's shot for a potential lucky dog now that there's another car a lap down. Because he was the only car a lap down prior to the 66 going a lap down. So this hurts him as well.
Yeah, because right now that puts the 66 in the free pass position.
So his best hope right now would be to push that 66 back up past the leaders.
Well, if they're going to do that, I think they're going to need more help on that outside line. You can just see it.
Oh, they're starting to get a little bit of help.
They are gaining on these guys, and that outside line does have the momentum.
you notice that 22 and the 09, those guys both got really strong cars, and they're starting to move towards that outside line now too. They're going to try and push their way to the front
And
again.
what that second pack way in the back, they need these guys to race hard so they can catch them. Side by side, the 66. Remember, folks, he is a lap down. He is now back on the lead lap. He is a past the 80, so that'll put the 46 in the free position to get his lap back. That's exactly,
Yep,
as you mentioned, what the 46 needed to do.
Yep, that's exactly what he wanted to see, was that 66 get in front of the leader. And now that he has gotten in front of the leader as well, he's gotten one of his laps back, which puts him only one lap down. So now if the caution were to come out,
Yes.
he would be back on the lead lap. And as soon as I say that,
Yeah.
22 said, no thank you. You guys are going back a lap down.
Nick's been strong. He's won. He dominated a couple weeks ago and fell short to his teammate. He ended up getting redemption last week for the final recruitment race, and here he is at the end of this
He's
race.
definitely wanting to start the season on a high note. And both he and that 09 have fallen. They've shown a ton of speed all race.
Oh, okay. Anderson. Let's go back to him for a moment, Matt. We talked about that last caution that Anderson brought out.
Yep.
He actually blew a engine, he wrote.
I got you. Because I know, like I said, when we watched that, there was a puff of smoke. So that makes sense on what that was.
Yeah, we knew it was something mechanical, but we just wasn't sure what it was.
Appreciate John pointing that out to us. One thing, as we start closing in towards the end of this race here, we talked about, how strong the 22 and 09 have been. And we know that 81 has been strong, but we have not talked much about the 80 this race. That being Nick Compton.
That we haven't, and we haven't really talked much
look
about
at him
that
right
25. And yeah, he's out there. He's going to the outside potentially. Nope. He's sitting in third though. Nick Compton is. Is he your favorite to win, Matt?
We talked about at the start of the show. I'm not picking favorites.
I just had to ask. You never know. You could have changed your mind by now.
If I did, I know who my favorite is.
Let me guess, the guy leading the race.
Nope, the guy running second.
Fallon. Okay.
He was able to push that 22 all the way up to the lead, so we know he's got a strong car. And I think if he gets a little bit of help and he wants to bail on his teammate,
Hey, why not?
He's got a car capable of winning this.
The way I look at things, you only have teammates for 119 laps. That lap 120,
Oh, I agree on that.
Nobody's your teammate.
Once that white flag flies, you're coming for the checkered, and everybody wants that one. A little bit surprised right here. You see these front two have broken away a little bit from the rest of the pack.
He got to 66. He's trying to get something going on that outside line, but he's even
He's a
though he's old.
lonely man up there.
Yeah, and we know that's not the position since he's a lot down.
We'll see if we can just tuck in here and ride, seeing that, right now he is the only car a lap down. So as long as he stays out of trouble, if we do have a caution, he will get that lap back.
Yes, he is in the position for the lucky dog.
The only thing he would have to worry about would be, if this race does stay green and, the leaders potentially catch another car to lap. Because I do know not too far, about probably 6 or 7 seconds in front of these guys, are the 20 and 19. And they're running by themselves, so there's potential they might get caught here too.
And that's not what you want to hear if you are the guy that's trying to get your lap back at the 60.
That is absolutely not what you want to hear. You are hoping for a caution right now if you are the 66.
So currently we have 20 cars on the lead lap, with CC being the last car on the lead lap, and Line in the free pass position. Are you a bit surprised the second pack's not gaining much on that pack in front of him? I mean, it's a smaller pack, but I'd expect them guys to try to get their way to the front again.
I would think that, because that we do have another round of pit stops coming, so I would want to be, at least in touch with that lead pack when we get down to pit stops. But it does look like they are starting to make a little bit of headway.
A little bit. You just don't want to lose sight of him. I mean, it's a bigger pack. That first pack's a lot bigger. But you just want, if you could sniff their draft and hang on to it, you should be okay.
Would think so. And, as we saw in the last set of pit stops, maybe these guys could pull a strategy, when it comes to pit stops, pit with, just a couple cars. That way you don't have as many cars to watch out for coming to pit road, and you might be able to steal a little bit of track position that way.
Yes, and I'm on board of the 14 car, and they're there. The second pack has finally caught up with this first pack, I believe, and that's what the 14 and that second pack needed. To all back up there, all the leaders are back together.
Yep, that's just what we talked about, wanting to be, in touch with them guys when it comes time for pit stops. Which I believe are going to be coming, I would guess, starting in probably about 5 laps or so.
Well, there's last on pit around up 75 for some of these guys. So we've gone almost 20 laps on this here. If they pit now, though, they would have to pit one more time, I would assume.
Yeah, you cannot pit now, because you are not going to have enough fuel. Because like you said, they pitted on 75, and I believe we went back green at about 53. So that's 22, probably 23 laps with counting the caution laps. So you're going to want to pit here around 98 or 99 if you want to be safe. But
Here
as
comes
soon as
the
we say
80.
that,
He's on the pit road. He's a lonely man.
Yep, nobody come with him.
That's not what he wanted.
I don't know. I think that might be cutting her a little close on fuel, but maybe
Yeah,
he knows more than we do.
I don't think I'd want to stretch it right now. You got. Looks like he just got fuel only. I didn't see his car raise up for tires or anything, so he may have just gotten fuel only right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think tires would be a huge advantage. At this point, it's just about getting. And
Here
here
comes his
comes his
time
teammate.
at 81. He's on pit road.
A little bit surprised they didn't pit together, but maybe there
Yeah,
might have been a little miscommunication there.
possibly because those two are teammates, and you would think you'd want to pit with your teammate. You would not want to pit by yourself here.
No, definitely not. And that's why I was a little bit surprised to see the 80 peel off when he did.
We got 26 laps left. Nick Alford is still leading this race.
Question becomes now, who's going to flinch first?
Here
And
they come. Let's see if anybody can get on clean. Oh,
oh,
oh! Ballin locked up his brakes. The 54 is in the grass.
oh, that is not what you wanted to see if you were the 54.
Nope, not at all.
Question also would be for that '09. How bad are his tires hurt because of that lockup? And is he going to have to change them now?
And did he get hit with a speeding violation? Did he get slowed
That
down
is the
enough?
other question. Because he looked like he was coming in hot. The question becomes, did he get it slowed down enough?
And
Meanwhile,
we got another group of cars coming to pit road. These three teammates,
yep, another set of teammates.
5 and the 18 and the 14. With just 24 laps to remain. Well,
Before coming back in after missing the commitment line last time.
24 laps to remain. What do you think? One more pit stop, or do you think these guys are going to try to stretch it as far as they can on this?
I believe at this point your bed's pretty much made, and you're gonna have to stretch it.
Some guys further on back's coming in to finish up their pit stops.
Yep, the 87 pitted from the lead, which should cycle the lead to the 5, I do believe. We saw the 5, the 14 and 18 all pit together,
Yes, we did. Does the 5 have
and
too
it
big of a lead? I mean, these guys are going to chase him down and. Oof.
I believe he does, but you look back there, you see he does have his two teammates back there. They will pick him up, and they will do a good job of falling in line here.
Yeah, just like that. The 5, the 18, and 14, they all find each other. They run nose to tail.
Yep, that question we had earlier with the '09.
Oh, Fallon, yeah, he's back there in 17th. He's the last car on the lead lap at this moment.
A little bit surprised he's back there all by himself like that. But that goes back to what we talked about, with that mistake coming to pit road and flat spotting those tires. He probably had to change those tires, and that put him back in no man's land all by himself after having a very strong car. And now he's about to go lap down.
Yes, but don't forget, he's got his teammate back there riding in second. His teammate might be able to work with him here, even though he's going to lap down to keep him up on the lead lap. It looks like they're just going to go to the high side and go around
Yeah,
him.
I don't think that 22 had much choice because he had that 19 all over his rear bumper. I don't think he was going to allow him to check up for his teammate.
That could be costly for some of these guys. You don't want to make mistakes and have a caution come out. 20 laps remain.
Yeah, we talk about this battle for the lead, but another battle to kind of keep your eye on would be the battle for the lucky dog in case there is a caution. Because the way things are looking right now, the 19, the '09, they are fighting for that lucky dog right now because both of them are a lap down. Just something to keep your eyes on if we do have a caution.
Which that's what some of these guys need. They need a caution. They are probably wanting a break just to. It's been so intense here the last 30 laps or so. I mean, even though they're single file, your heartbeat still goes faster than normal, I think, and you get more hot and sweaty. And it's like some of these guys just want to breathe for a moment.
Oh, I definitely agree. You get down to crunch time here. You got to remember to keep your head on. Try to do what you can to keep yourself calm. Because this gets to the point in the last part of these races that, the fatigue's going to start to set in a little bit. Not necessarily physical at a place like this, but that mental fatigue, because it's all about being in that right position at the right time. And we're going to see, who's got that mental toughness at the end to put themselves in a good position to have a shot to win this.
Meanwhile, Offord is going to go to the lead here.
So the one other thing that, I want to kind of keep an eye on here is, we do have two packs formed here. We have that lead pack. They got a good 6 cars in that lead pack. And then that second pack, they've got a good 6 or 7 cars in that pack as well. They are about 6 seconds back. So I want to see if they can potentially close that gap a little bit and try to make things exciting at the end here.
Very true. This second pack with the 24, not the 24, excuse me, the 25, the 14, and the other 25, it was side by side. That's going to kill their momentum if they're going to try to gain anything on this front pack.
Don't worry, they got help a coming.
Meanwhile, great news, the tornado warning we had a while ago has been cleared for my area.
Now we can focus on the end of this race.
Which I wasn't going to go anywhere anyway, and thus this house blew down with me.
That's the type of commitment I like. Just looking at the gaps right now, the front three guys are pretty much nose to tail. You got a little gap to fourth.
Yeah, they're starting to space themselves out a little bit. I mean, Holland, just remember he is a lap down, so you got the 5 and the 18, the 19 and the 22 all right there together.
That's right. So we see these front two nose to tail. You got a little gap to that five. That 5 and the 18 might possibly be laying back just a little bit, trying to get a little bit of a run to see, what it's going to take to get around those front two.
Possibly, I mean, if you're Holland, even though you're a lap down, are you helping your teammate here if need be, since you don't have a chance of winning the race now?
If I can get up to him, I am. But you look at it, there's 3 cars in between them two, so.
Yeah, and we still got 13 laps to remain. Plenty of time to make moves and stuff if need be.
Definitely.
It's not like at Bristol where you had 13 laps left, you'd be over in 15 seconds or so.
That's right, because we're looking at about 46, 47 seconds a lap. We got 12 laps to go. That's still a good almost 10 minutes of racing yet. So plenty of time to plan your moves out.
12 laps remain, so this race will be over in the next 10 minutes, I'd say. Roughly, give or take. I have the 22 of Nick going down there below the yellow. That's going to open the door for the 19 to take the lead, and the 18 is going to tuck into 22 behind.
This goes back to what we talked about, right after that last set of pit stops. We thought these guys were going to be cutting it close on fuel. So I think that 22 might be just trying to get out of that lead position to try and save a little bit of fuel.
He very well could indeed, because he was out there for at least 10 laps, I want to say, burning all kinds of fuel. So it's not like he's second place like some of these other guys, or even further on back, where you have to let off the gas and you can save a little.
Meanwhile, we talked about that second pack there, trying to see if they could close in on that lead pack. Well, that third pack is starting to catch them, and we're going to see if they can all link up and go after that lead pack now.
In fact, we do. I mean, you got the 24 leading that third pack. That's Tyler Truman, and right behind them you got Brian Clark. So they can gain up on these on the cars in front of them and try to chase down. Excuse me, my wife is in here making funny, doing stupid stuff. So anyway, as I was saying, the 24
looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to tuck in line here and push these guys forward, see if they can't go catch them leaders. I think that was a smart play there. the last thing you want to do is get side by side and potentially slow everybody down. So I think it was smart here to just fall in line, push these guys, and see if we can't go get them leaders. But the one thing you gotta remember, fuel is still a question. So who saved enough fuel to potentially make it to the end? Because you saw the 22, he was leading for a while. He ended up dropping in behind a lap car because I'm not so sure he had enough fuel to make it to the end. So that brings into question fuel for a lot of these guys, actually, I believe.
Yes, it does. I'm not sure if anybody can make it to the end or not. We will find out.
I know one thing, they're going to try. Because there's nothing like getting a win in the first race of the season like this. So you know they're going to try. Now the fun thing becomes, if we go back up to this lead pack, we do have teammates. We have two sets of teammates, you know, in that lead pack. We got the 22 and the 09, and in between them is the 18. And the 18's got his teammate in the 5 right behind the 09. So if the 18 decides to pull out, that could potentially shake things up, and we're going to see what happens after that. But I believe the 5 would be committed to him. The question would be the 09. I believe he would stay committed to the 22.
Yeah,
But
I'd agree with you. I think the 19 would be a sitting duck at that point. I think
well, the
that,
one thing we got to remember, the 19 is right now at the tail end of the lead lap.
yes, that is true. I think the 18 and the
Oh
5.
man, oh man, we're catching traffic here in a bad spot.
Oh yes, that's going to shake everything up right through here.
Oh, that was almost bad as they caught, it looked like the 80. And,
See the
you
19
know,
going on pit road to get some gas and. Ugh.
you know, the one thing that does with them catching lap traffic like that, that allowed that second pack to close in quite a bit that last lap.
Yeah, they're not too far back right now.
They are about 3.5 seconds back at the line this last time. So if they can stay locked up, I believe they will get there.
With 5 laps to go, is that enough laps to get to this front pack?
I believe it is.
Should be.
I believe it is because, we look at this front pack and who's leading it would be the 95, and that 95 still has a little bit of nose damage there. So that might slow these guys down ever so slight, as now he's going to get shuffled out of the way.
Yes, just remember, folks, the 95 is a lap down.
Yes, the 95 is a lap down.
So is the 80.
The 80 is tail end of the lead lap. The 09 is a lap down. So this is a battle right now between the 22, the 5, and the 18.
And there goes the 80 to pit road. And if you're Nick, that's not something you wanted to see right now.
No, definitely not. Because you got 3 laps to go. And, I mean, the 80 was one of the first cars to pit road. So I'm not really surprised that he had to pit again. But that's going to definitely raise a lot of questions for everybody else on do we have enough fuel to make it.
I want to say the 5 and the 18 and the 14, they have enough. I think there's one of the last cars to pit, so they should be okay making the
Yes,
distance.
I believe they were one of the last groups to pit. So, and you look at them having 2 cars out front right now. I believe they might be able to fight this amongst themselves. But as we mentioned before, you know, teammates versus teammates.
Yes.
If that 22 has enough gas, then you know he's going to be a threat because he and the 09 are both really strong cars. And they're proving that right now as they're going to make a move to the outside.
They are, but that 09, he needs to get behind his teammate if he wants his teammate to win this race.
No, I don't think you can afford to change right now.
No,
You're pretty much set where you are as we're coming to the white flag.
It's gonna be a drag race. Here to the cam, last lap. You got the 5 on the inside, 22 on the outside, the 18 right behind the 5. Don't mind the 09, he's a lap down.
You see the 5 surges ahead here off of turn 2, but that high side momentum coming off the corner, I believe, is going to propel the 22 back by him.
The 22 has the advantage for the moment. Here comes the 18. He's going to give... Oh, I thought he was... 22 is going to go down on the inside and...
Oh, 22, I think, is out of gas.
Oh, he's out.
22 is out of gas.
Oh. That's going to be...
And that's going to mean... Does the 5 have enough? He does. How about that?
What a race. Congratulations to the 5 team and for finishing 1-2. The 5 and the 18, their teammates, they finished 1-2. So congratulations to those 2 guys.
How about that? That shows you it wasn't over till it's over. Victor Felix. Right place, right time.
Seemed like a long race.
Well, you know, for the way that race started out, you know, with it being a bit of a mess, you know, once we got rolling that final stage, things went really smoothly. And it come down to, you know, fuel mileage at the end of it. Who would have thunk?
Yep. Alright. I am not seeing Victor anywhere on Discord. Victor is your race winner.
If we can't find him, I wonder if we can at least find his teammate.
Well, it's a possibility. Looks like... I don't think anybody is in their Discord channels. Some of the teammates are, you know, but not everybody. So the 5 and the 18 are not in their Discord channels right now, so I cannot bring them over to talk to them.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I was looking forward to that one because they played that strategy really, really well.
Yes, they did. It was a good race. 6 cautions, 120 laps. I thought it went really good tonight.
I would agree. I mean, it was a little bit of a rocky start, but eventually, you know, it settled in, logged laps, and had a pretty exciting finish out of it, too.
Yes, we did. I do not see the 3rd place driver either. I was going to bring him over. Oh, okay, let's talk to the 3rd place guy. See how his night was. Hey, Derek, it's Matt and John up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, we got a copy, guys.
Hey, we tried to reach out to the 1st and 2nd place guys earlier, but couldn't find them. But congratulations on a 3rd place. tonight.
I appreciate it. If it weren't for line coming out and taking that outside to where I could try and suck up onto him, I would have not been able to get that third. I probably would have finished eighth.
Oh, okay. Well, what did your car need more of tonight? Just better track position, or there's a long green flag there at the end of the race.
Well, honestly, I thought I was going to be able to have it because I was trying to go over numbers in my head just off the fuel strategy. I was thinking maxing out, I was going to be able to get it and everybody was going to pit. But, I mean, it is what it is. At third place, I didn't get involved in any wrecks. I was clean all race long, so I can't complain too much.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys broadcasting. Appreciate everybody for putting on this series.
Hey, no problem. Well, Matt, exciting. You ready for next week?
Definitely a great way to kick off the season right there. That race had a little bit of everything, and I'm really looking forward to calling these races this season with you.
Yes, sir, indeed. You know, six cautions, 120 laps, like I said earlier. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, I don't think.
That's definitely not bad for this being, the first time that a lot of these guys have probably raced with each other this season. So I would say they got acclimated to each other fairly well.
Yeah, we finished tonight with 12 cars on the lead lap, so that's not too terrible.
Considering how much of a crapshoot these races sometimes are, I think anybody who got a lead lap finish out of this should be patting themselves on the back.
Yes, sir. Well, we will see you next Friday night here at Lightning Speed TV. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in with us.